What's up everyone, it's HK Gaming. Welcome to the Breakdown project. In this series, we'll be looking at different items or gears in different games. If you like this series, please let me know by hitting that like button or comment below. In this video, we're gonna be looking at all the legendary charm. See if any of them can overtake the legendary katana and the legendary ranged weapon. First, let's look at the Benkei's last stand. The special perk it has is 15% chance to ignore arrow damage. Normally there isn't too many enemies with arrows, and they're super easy to kill except for those Oni type, but that 15% chance isn't really enough. But let's see if the possible outcomes of the perk can help. First, they have a range damage. If you're playing as Hunter, this can go very well with your ranged weapon. This also includes your class ability and the ultimate as well. Next is the range resolve gain. This can help you to get your ultimate ready a little bit faster. And then we have headshot damage. This works very well with the ranged damage, just like I said in the range breakdown video. And then draw speed and reload speed isn't something that you should be looking for because the percentage is comparatively low. Especially you don't have space to exploit the attack speed. And then next we have the resolve gain. This will increase the resolve you gain from all source. So this includes the ranged weapon just like the range resolve gain, but also the melee weapon and the injury resolve gain as well. And they both have the same percentage, which is 10%, so I'll go with resolve gain. And then we have the ultimate damage. This is a very strong perk. If you have it on your katana and the charm, there will be a 40% bonus damage. And then we have the ability cooldown reduction. Since there isn't a crazy cooldown build that you can use to spam your skills, so I wouldn't recommend this perk at the moment. But if you want some extra cooldown on your explosive arrow, it can work. And then the Oni damage is something that you really don't want to have. It only works with the Oni, and the bonus damage is very little, so you don't want to waste your perk on this. And then next we have the stagger damage. This is also a perk that I highly recommend with the katana. It can goes up to 20% bonus damage. With the perk that's 40% total. It is a very strong perk that you should be consider having. And then perk 1 and perk 2 are completely the same. They have the same possible outcome. And then the last possible outcome is the fire damage. This is something that only appears on the charm, and it is a really strong perk. If you're playing a fire status effects build, or if you're using Hunter with the explosive arrow, then this is your best choice. This also works with one of the perks in perk 3, which we'll get into in a minute. First, let's look at the combat regeneration. Health regenerate up to 15 max health, reduced by half when in combat. This is a very stable way for you to heal. When Rowan in your team does not have the ultimate or the healing instance, you can still heal yourself up to a safe amount of health. And since this is a passive, you don't have to worry about cooldown or anything like that. And you can still heal while you're in combat. This is one of the best perks of the charm. And then next we have the leeching parry. A perfect parry restores a small amount of health and fills your resolve faster. If you like to parry a lot or you're very good at it, then this can be one of your choice. With the parry perk that your katana have, you can do a lot of things with a single perfect parry. And then next we have the Fire Master. This is also the perk that I said it will work very well with the fire damage. Increase fire damage by 25%. With that 12%, that's 37% in total. And fire is the only status effect that has a perk like this. So if you have other perk with status effect damage, then your fire status effect will do a considerable damage. And then next we have the health increase. Increase maximum health by 25. But even if you have more health, if you do not have a way to regenerate it, then it will still be useless. So I recommend using the combat regeneration over the health increase. It is much more stable than just a extra 25 health. And then we have resolve increase. Increase maximum resolve by 1. but the resolve that you gain in game is really fast, and there isn't a boss or enemy that needs you to use a lot of your ultimate, so saving one more resolve is really not needed. You can use your ultimate and next minute you will have it ready again. And then next we have the super armor. You're no longer interrupted by melee attack and you can attack through damage. This sounds like something for a tank, but there isn't a build that can help you to attack through damage and still be alive. And there isn't a lifesteal perk in this game. So I would say this is not very useful, but it has the potential in the future update or maybe with some new gear. For now I only have one idea on how to use it, which I have later in the video. Next is the impactful throws. So when you're throwing an enemy through air, it will now cause a knockdown. But there isn't too many ways that you can throw your enemies into air. The easiest way is to use the Typhoon Kick, which you will have a knockdown with the Windmaster already, and it does extra damage too. So I don't think impactful throws is a good choice. Overall it got some good possible outcome as the perk, but the special perk is really not something that is that good, so I would not recommend to use it. But if you want to use it, this is some of the combination that I recommend using. And next let's look at the last breath. Instead of taking fatal damage, heal for 50 health can occur every 5 minutes. The cooldown is way too long. Ghost of Tsushima is not like a MMORPG where the team has to do different things in different stages. When you die, Rowan can easily use his ultimate to save you. He's not gonna lose anything, and the possible outcome of the perk is completely same. The perk that you have on Last Breath, other charm will have as well, so it's not worth using a legendary sword for this one. Next is the Shogun Fortitude. You will now get immunity to flash and poison effects as the special perk. In some of the nightmare mission, there is a chance that the enemy will cause a flash and poison effects after they die, so it could be useful in some case. For perk 1, it has the stealth attack damage. This is for the assassin, increased damage of stealth attack up to 25%. And then we have the cooldown reduction of all ghost weapon. This works with the smoke bomb. With the self attack damage, it is a very good choice. Then we have increased damage of all ghost weapon. It can work with the Rowan techniques, which is also increasing the ghost weapon damage. And then we have cooldown reduction on kill. It also works with the ghost weapon increasing damage. And then we have the status effect duration and the status effect damage for you if you are playing a status effect build. And then the rest of the perk is just like other charm. Ultimate damage, ability cooldown reduction, stealth, fire damage, oni damage, stagger damage, and also the resolve gain as well. So this charm kind of gives you everything that you want. And for perk 3, it is completely the same as well. If you hate the flash and poison effects, it could be a good choice for you. Next we have the Enjo's Remorse. Deals 15% bonus damage when at full health as a special perk. Even though it is hard to stay at full health, the 15% is still a lot. For perk 1, it has the melee damage, melee resolve gain, melee stagger damage, perfect parry window, counter damage, just like the katana perk. And then the resolve gain, ultimate damage, and other perks are just like the normal charm possible outcomes. And perk 1 and perk 2 are completely same. Perk 3 are just like other charm as well. This could be a very powerful charm if you can manage yourself at full health. All the perks works perfectly with the Katana's perk. If you're using Stone Striker, that 15% extra damage and then 24% melee damage and 40% stagger damage, and you do extra damage with a stagger enemy using the Heavenly Strike. I'm sure that you can one hit every single enemy with this. And then I have the resolve increase to save up one more resolve for the Heavenly Strike as well. Last we have the Sacred Iron. Enemies that do melee damage to you have weaken applied to them. This special perk itself is a very interesting one. It could be very powerful, but at the moment the game doesn't have other gears to support this perk and make it useful. But this item can be still very fun to play with. I have some testing footage which I'll put at the end. For now, let's look at the perk first. First possible outcomes: damage reduction. Reduce damage received from all sources. So this works perfectly with the special perk, and we will have a much higher chance to survive, tanking the enemy's damage. And then next we also have the Enjo resolve gank. So when we take damage, it will apply weaken to them, which they do 25% less damage and take 25% more. And we have more resolve. This 2 perk is the one that I'm looking for. And then next we have the revive health. This doesn't do a lot, to be honest. Normally the Rowan will have the health generation with the ultimate. A little bit of extra health is not gonna do much. And then Ghost Offering health. Increase health restore when interacting with a Ghost Offering. This is also something not very useful or not common to trigger. Then the rest of the possible outcome is the same as other charm. And then perk 1 and perk 2 are completely the same. And then perk 3 as well. Remember I said the super armor has its potential, and this is where we should use the super armor. When they attack us, it will apply weaken to them, and we can attack through them. So when they attack us, they will do 25% less damage, and they will take 25% more damage, and we can exploit that because enemies attack no longer interrupt us. And when we use the damage reduction with the Enjo resolve gank, and then we use Rowan as our class, with the healing incense and the ultimate healing for us, and the damage reduction, we can just keep attacking non-stop. As you can see here, enemies have weaken applies to them when they do damage to me. And then I gain my resolve so quickly that I can use my ultimate to heal again. And then I can just keep attacking non-stop. Keep attacking. This surely is a very fun way to play, but it is much better than it sounds. The bad thing about this is you have to rely on the healing incense and the ultimate a lot. You will also need to pay close attention to your health and to manage not to die. But you will have to take damage to apply weaken to them, and also to get your resolve. But it could be pretty difficult when you are dealing with the spear type of purple Oni. Since they do a lot of damage, even with the damage reduction, you have to be really careful. As you can see here, I almost die. With a single attack, half of my health bar is gone, and I didn't get too many resolve out of it. So you have to take the attack that doesn't do a lot of damage, so you can apply weaken to them and get some more resolve for you to regenerate your health. But at the same time, you will have to be careful not to get hit by other enemies. You will also need to keep track of your healing incense, since this is your only way other than your ultimate to heal yourself. And that's it for the legendary charm. I do think that epic charm is better than legendary charm, but I'll have the epic charm in a separate video, and hopefully that helps. And that will be it for today's video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be making more gaming videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.